So this is the fuel tank off of a 62 wheel horse. This is a one-piece casting. And of course there's a big hole in the bottom. They probably need to make it that way because it's a casting. So what they do is make this aluminum plug. It's a threaded plug, and it threads in that hole. So it uses a gasket, and of course sometimes they leak. And then when these get old, you have to heat them up sometimes to get them apart, and the threads get all messed up when you finally do get them out. So you need a way to repair this one. It's in pretty good shape otherwise. So that's an 1 3/4 16 thread. So what I'm going to try to do is make this hole bigger, put bigger threads, and make a plug that looks similar. So it'll be machined out of a chunk of aluminum, probably not cast. See what I got in the scrap pile. But I'll be trying to make it look pretty close to that. And it'll function the same. So we'll have to make a gasket for it. So if you had a lathe big enough, you could just put this in the 4-jaw chuck and turn some internal threads on there, but of course my lathe is not big enough. Can't do it on the mill either, so I don't have the feed speeds required to meet the thread pitch. So this is where I got some inspiration from Keith Fenner at Turn Right Machine Works. Some really good videos there. Check out his channel. So he's done some line boring operations on his lathe by making some fixtures and bolting the part to the carriage. So hey, I got some bolt holes on this little carriage. I don't know if they were originally in there, but there's 4 tapped holes right here. I just barely got enough room. I just happened to have this collet chuck on there, and it turned out to be about the same diameter as this part of the casting, so I can use that to line things up. Okay, so I went ahead and made some parts here. I have some bars to span that bolt pattern. I cut these pieces out on the plasma cam. Now I didn't want to have this casting that close. So see, that lowers the casting, but I have some slots here so that I can adjust the height. So I'm going to have a piece like that on each side. And then I have a strengthening rib that's going to go across the back. And I haven't decided what I'm doing here yet, but just some kind of a simple spacer. It could be one-piece block, or it could be 2 separate spacers. But I'll be using these 4 bolts to hold this tank in position. And then I'll be able to move this carriage in and out so we can work on that hole.
So I have this fuel tank mounted in my setup fixture here. So I have some movement to be able to adjust it to get it into position. Got some slots on these bolt holes also. So I'll be able to move this around to get it flat and parallel to the plane, and also center the hole over the spindle. Got a 5C collet chuck here. Can use it to hold the indicator. When I get that all set up, the 5C collet chuck's going to hold my boring bar